To all Zimbabwean youths, you are in the majority. Voting is the only way that you can make yourself successful, properly heard. Otherwise, the suffering continues if you don't register to vote. So we need to fix the hospitals, the roads, the jobs, the schools, the drinking water that comes out dirty every day, the drugs, the pandemic that is driving our youth mental, the repression, the violence, the abductions, the captured states, institutions that are used to silence us. Now this is a message to all the youths out there. Listen up. Tinashe, Nyasha, Fadzai, Nelson, Tafara, Petsai, Udakwashe, Mamoyo, Saigwa, Mfuiwa, Samaita, Mandlovu, Mandebele, Wumba. We have to go out there and register to vote. That is the only way we're gonna change our future.
Right, 28 August 2021, and today I have Senator Khaliphani Phugeni. You enjoy this music?
Well, I'm not sure. No, I don't.
I love Hopo, man. He's got the best music.
Let me tell you something, Kambakwe. We are not gifted in everything. So I don't think that's his strength. I think his strength is being a journalist, and the rest he must just leave to others.
I've been playing this song over and over again since he released it about 4 hours ago. I love the passion that Hopo has got for Zimbabwe. And I think if we could direct it properly, there's something there that I can say that is what we need in every young person. But I think we need to direct that some way, in a certain way.
Yeah, but he's not a musician or a producer.
Right. So, Senator, I want us to do this very, very quickly. It's a Saturday. Everyone is enjoying themselves at home. You saw yesterday the announcement by the MDC Alliance principals that they are now going to be using the name MDC Alliance, and I assume they mean in all future elections. What is your opinion on that?
Okay, let's do something here just to assist the Johnny come lately. I'm not here, just to remind everyone here, I'm not here to answer questions and all those things. I'm just here to have a conversation with my friend and friends online, and those that are new to this platform, they get very much annoyed and irritated when I don't answer certain questions. It's because they don't understand why. They don't even have the decency to try and go back to previous videos to understand why. So this is a conversation. These are my thoughts. They don't represent anyone except myself. They don't even represent my family. My kids can hold complete different thoughts from these ones. To the extent that you feel the question is not answered or you don't like the answer, you can mute the part where I have to answer and give the answer yourself. It's okay, you know, or don't even watch, it's fine. But you don't have to be animated and be worked up by my thoughts. They are mine, they will never change. They will remain mine. Well, look, to answer now your question, is I think this was said some time ago that the MDCT will use the MDC Alliance. They will use both names interchangeably.
Okay, but I think that is at the surface. There is something deeper in this name, MDC Alliance. What is it that is making it so difficult for both parties to move away from the name MDC Alliance?
I don't know.
But you were with the late president of the MDC, Morgan Changrai. You were very close with him before he passed away. What was the logic and the rationale behind the formation of the alliance?
Oh, okay, no. The logic behind the formation, that's very simple. The logic behind the formation of the alliance was to try and arrest the fragmentation. The fragmentation was a big problem. I had countless hours with him, sometimes one-on-one, sometimes with Honorable Chief Ndlovu. But I spent much of my time with him addressing this issue. And at the center of it, my biggest concern was Honorable PT, Professor Ncube. And I kept on saying, you must find a way of bringing these people. It doesn't matter that in elections, we will always do far better than them. But that fragmentation cannot be good for us in any way. If we are failing to converge with these people, what message are we sending to Zimbabweans? So there was that understanding that it's very important. Of course, in the implementation, he was now sick. A lot of other opportunistic elements crept in, and there were mistakes here and there. But the whole idea was to try and arrest the fragmentation of the MDC rather, let me put it that way. The whole thing was about to arrest and address the fragmentation of the MDC.
Okay, but everyone who is there now on the MDCT side and the MDC Alliance party side was there during the time when this alliance was formed. Why is it difficult for this to be worked out amicably between the MDCT and the MDC Alliance party? Now we have this situation where you're fighting over a name. The election is getting closer and closer. What is the problem? From your own opinion, I'm not asking you to talk as a representative of anything, but just from your own view.
I don't think there's a fight, because I think I heard the NC or his proxies during the week saying they know what to do. So I don't think there's a fight. And I'm happy you did prefix this, you did qualify this. These are just my views. If I don't even pretend to talk to him or be any of his advisors and whatever. I think they'll be doing well, because for me it's a fictitious issue. It's not there, and to dedicate so much energy in something that is not there at all will be a waste. They must just carry on with what they are doing and not allow narratives, because it's a narrative, really. It will seem that there are people who are just obsessed about it, and they want to make it an issue for them, an election issue, which I doubt it is.
Okay, so people have said you cannot change the name MDC Alliance. So Chamisa cannot move away from the name MDC Alliance. I saw Simbachi Kanza, who is very close to the MDC. He posted this morning or this afternoon. What is your view? If the MDC changes its name, is it moving away from its election petition? Is it moving away from its election victory? Is that why this is important?
Well, I understand. Remember, he is a journalist like you. So he obviously is his own views and informed by whatever. But I will tell you why I think it's a non-issue. You'll remember that after the unfortunate death of Dr. Morgan Tsvangirai, there was a big fight between Chamisa and his group, and then Dr. Coupe and her group. That fight culminated in Dr. Coupe retaining the name MDCT and Chamisa retaining the name MDC Alliance. And when we went for elections, he got over 2 million votes with MDC Alliance. So if you want to start in November, which I don't think so, if you want to start in November, you can start in November. You can basically say the marketing of the name MDC Alliance started in November. And in July, it gave them a massive victory, which Simba is talking about. So I have seen somewhere where it's touted as MDC Chamisa. I think if that is what they want to go with, and they have enough time, which they do, by the way, they can market that name to a good showing. My views are these, and these are my views. Like I say, no one needs to fight them. If they are just useless views, they are useless. Ignore them. There's no point in fighting a man for his views. My views are this, Kambakwe, is that it's not about the name. For me, it's about the institutions. That's the challenge. And here I'm not addressing the MDC Alliance or Chamisa. I'm just addressing Zimbabwe. But our challenge is institutions. By training, I'm a financial management by training. So if you give me company documents and all those things, I'll look at them and I'll tell you the strength of the company. I can look at that and tell you whether these guys are good guys or you're just wasting your time and all those things. Now, you are coming here shortly to Zimbabwe. I want you to take the documents of any political party. Any political party, ignore the manifestos. The manifestos, they are done by professionals meant to woo voters. Just try and get their financial statements. You're not going to find a single financial statement. Now, you're not going to find a single financial statement. They'll come up with all sorts of reasons. I'm talking all political parties. They're going to come up with all sorts of reasons why they can't show you their financial statement. And but yet, in their constitutions, they'll tell you about transparency, accountability, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, those are two mutually destructive concepts. If you are talking about accountability, transparency, and all those things, and yet you won't show me your financial statement, how do I hold you accountable? What transparency is that? You see? So that is the challenge that we are facing in Zimbabwe, is that there is too much effort dedicated upon individuals. And these individuals are fallible, unfortunately. They are fallible. And so we dedicate so much time on individuals and we expect them to deliver, and they are not able to deliver. And we're dedicating this time at the expense of building very strong institutions. You see, I am telling you right now, if you went to any organization in Zimbabwe and wanted their financial, you are not going to get any. And if anyone assists you in that organization party to push for that, that person will be fired. And you accept that. As the electorate, you accept that. As the media, you accept that. And then somehow, when elections come, you want to claim that you are going to get the Zambian victory. You are not going to get the Zambian victory because you are a honest society. You see, you accept to be taken for a ride. I can't tell you of transparency and accountability and yet tell you that my financials are off limit. So what transparency is that? What accountability? How are you going to hold me accountable if you can't see my financials?
Okay, so I think let's wrap this up. Should the MDC Alliance party continue with this name or change it? I want a simple answer because this is confusing. If it was you who was in charge of MDC Alliance, would you change that name?
Well, if it was me, well, look, for starters, it's not me. But I don't think the question arises, Kambakwe, as I've already said. I think it's a false problem that is created. The question is, how much effort has been put in building an institution? That is where the question is. The name, like I'm telling you, really, they can do whatever they want to do at a certain time, because when the machinery is strong enough, the machinery will be able to communicate to its electorate. But to the extent that they feel that there is too much pressure, they have to change. If they were to change, they then must invest a lot in making sure that their political communication is good, to almost portray themselves as victims who have had everything stripped from them, including their name and you know. But to be honest with you, for me, the whole question doesn't even arise. The whole issue of the name doesn't arise at this stage. At this stage is to really oil your machinery and make sure that you are ready for the elections.
Okay, Senator, I want us to wrap this up. I think it's clear this issue is going to be with us for a very, very long time. And as we go into the by-elections, if we move down to a lower level of COVID lockdown, it's going to be very, very interesting. Let me end with the question on voter registration. Do you think the political parties are doing enough? You saw the song that I played by Hopo. He's doing a lot, more than anyone else. Do you think the political parties are doing enough to register voters?
Well, of course, I'm not sure if he's doing more than everyone else. I'm not sure about that, because I can tell you Dr. Cooper started way, way ahead. It may well be that she does not enjoy, in terms of social media, the same status as Opel does, but she started way, way ahead. And that's what they've been doing in the MDC, going around trying to push people to go and register to vote. I saw something, I think your conversation with Doctor during the week, I thought, I wouldn't hold that type of a view. I wouldn't even interpret issues in the manner which he interprets them. I don't even think that there is a fight there about the whole issue. They mean well when they are saying focus on the rural vote, and I'm talking about Opel and Dr. Ruanya here. They mean well. And why do I say so? Because what the doctor said during the week was that actually it's not true that there's a deficit in terms of opposition in the rural vote. Actually, he was making a proposition that there are inroads there. There are no inroads. The inroads are made by ZANU in the urban areas. That is where the inroads are. So it is true for any strategic intervention that you want to make sure that you begin to eat into that rural voters share and begin to consolidate when it comes to the urban voter share that you have, and basically shut ZANU out of that. Now, if you don't do that, you are going to get the same. You are going to get the same because, and I know because there is this whole hype about Zambia. Remember, Zambia, not only did they get a president, but they also got parliament. So if you are always chasing for the president and the ZANU wins a 2/3 majority in parliament, which law are you going to change? Because laws are parliament, it's the job of parliament to make laws and change laws and all those things. So it is very, very important that all these fictitious arguments and problems, that to me, they don't even exist. Right now, you need to ask yourself, how do you consolidate the opposition vote? How do you arrest the opposition fragmentation? And make sure that as you go to 2023, you are not fighting for internal positions or relevance or preeminence. You are fighting to make sure that you dislodge ZANU-PF and take over power.
Okay, Senator, you have said a lot, and someone who is very mature who understands that what you've said there, people have paid millions if they could implement what you're saying there. Why is it so difficult? I know I'm asking another question here. Why is it difficult for the opposition in Zimbabwe to unite, to form a broad coalition?
Last week I gave you an answer, and I told you it's profound, and a lot of people didn't get it, and you're right. A lot of people didn't get it, and what I said is some of them wanted me to come down and deal with issues that I don't think will win us power. What will win us power is a heart that is after doing well for the people of God. Come back. We can unpack it sometime because now I want to go and I know you also have to go and everyone else, it's a weekend. The challenge why, and I'm answering a question now, why it has been so difficult to have unity of purpose and of mind is because of this needless fight for positions. That's the most unfortunate thing. Now, if you check all the people that want to come and insult and scream, and they'll tell you that Phugeni, what backdoor and all those things, those people don't even know what is the job of a member of parliament. They don't know. They're not even judging me based on my job, on what has it done. They can't, based on my job description, on my KPIs. They can't. All they go for is you don't support so and so, and then therefore you are bad. You see, now that doesn't help the people of Zimbabwe. And why you will find people having this fatigue, it's not even apathy in our case, it's fatigue, because people can't be doing one thing and getting the same result over and over again because of selfish people who all want to lead when we can only be led by one person. And the unfortunate thing is that even that one person, when they get into lead, they don't want to accept that you've come in to lead people and you don't know it all. Since you are in opposition and are clamoring for devolution and all those things, you must allow people in their localities to lead themselves and be able to inform you on what is best for them. You now think you're a Superman, you know it all. I live here from Bulawayo, I go straight to Mutar and tell people what is best for them. They know better what is best for them. Now, do you know why Chief did so well in Kainot, notwithstanding the fact that our party was seen as a fringe party, it's because he built a very strong machinery around the people of that district. Because he asked them what exactly they want, how best can he help them, and all those things. And those people took ownership and charge. And everybody knows that Chief won that constituency. It did not been of the rigging machinery of ZANU. Everybody knows that the Chief would have been the member of parliament of that constituency. Why? It's because that whole thing was from the people. It's the people that want him. Even if you go there, you will see that it's the people that want him. But the unfortunate thing is that he will belong in some party, and you'll find that the leader there wants to come and tell him what is good for the people that live there, that actually have preferred him. So there is a lot structural and conceptual that is wrong with us as a nation. We've got a very toxic relationship with power, an extremely toxic relationship with power. Now, I'll give you another example as I close. When Solomon, King Solomon, when he got power, God appeared to him in a vision and he said, what do you ask for one thing and I'll do it for you? And what does Solomon do? Solomon asks for wisdom. He says, God, you have made me a king over your people, such a great nation. Give me wisdom on how to preside over this. When God says, I'm so pleased with you because you didn't ask for the elimination of your enemies. You didn't ask for money. Above wisdom, I'll give you even these things which you did not ask for. So another thing that really Zimbabwe needs is to examine our relationship with power, this toxic relationship with power, that once I get power, then instead of serving people as I promised, I make them my servants and I trample over their rights.
But is that not bigger in the opposition? That problem that we are addressing. ZANU-PF has got a clear identity. It's got clear structures. But the opposition is always fighting. Ever since MDC was formed, it's been fights after fights.
Yeah, but that's the point that I am raising. Now, by raising that, I don't mean that then we have to vote ZANU. I don't mean that then ZANU is the best party and. Those are the issues I'm raising for you. I'm saying to you, the name issue is nothing. The name issue is nothing. The issue here is a toxic relationship with power for those that eventually prevail, whichever way they prevail. And then also, it's this whole thing of not strengthening institutions, but strengthening individuals, you know, and having this strong man mentality. And yet that's what we claim we're fighting. And then, of course, also I spoke about the issue of transparency, accountability, and all those things. I challenged you. I said, come here and ask for financial of any political. How many are they? About 23 or so of them ran this past election. Come here and ask for their financial statements, all of them. You will not get. They'll give you all sorts of reasons. But if you go to their values, they will tell you in their values and principles that they are transparent. They are for this, they are for this. They'll tell you they are for women, women equality, you know. And then you ask them, what program do you have for this equality? They don't have a single program. They will talk about Kukraunde as a political football. And then you ask, they talk about the marginalization of people of material. Then you ask them in their program, what program do you have to address this? They don't have all of that. Now, if you wanted to invest in a company, when come back, and someone gives you a document like that, you have to find out what programs do they have to attain these noble and bold claims which they have. And once you discover that they don't have programs, then you know they are not going to make it. So you just keep your money. You see, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fatigue, because there are people who have voted here. I'll give you an example. You saw what happened in Bulawayo immediately after the 2018 elections. You saw exactly what happened. When there were people who were basically imposed there, who did not even care about people's cultures and their way of life and all. I can give examples of other places, but I don't know about other places because I live in Bulawayo, so I know about Bulawayo. You see, so it's all of those things where then people get disillusioned and then they realize that, you know what, there's no hope in this whole thing. All we are doing is we're just helping other people scale the ladder of mobility through our votes. Whereas the vote was actually supposed to change the lot of the ordinary person. I want to ask you another question, even as we close. Do you have anyone in this country who can say, as a result of this party winning, whether this ward or this constituency or this municipality in 2018, my life has improved?
Okay, I don't think we can take it to an individual level, but I think ZANU-PF has done quite a lot. They've built roads, they've built bridges, they've built dams, they've stabilized the economy, they're getting loans from the IMF. They are changing the narrative in the country. Everyone in Zimbabwe now.
Come back. Your job, why you are called the fourth estate, is to hold the government accountable. You mustn't be carrying the water for them. You can't.
No, but not just government. Everybody, both sides.
Wait. You can't say to me they've built roads. That's the mandate of government, to build roads. It's the mandate of government to do that, because they're the ones who collect our taxes. Our taxes are collected by the government. So when they collect our tax are supposed to build roads. So there is nothing there. They don't get anything for doing that. But where we hold them accountable is to ask them and say, is this what you promised us? You see? So I've told you last time that they did promise us electricity, and on that score, I give them. On the issue of water, the dams are yet to be built. So they are not there yet. So the proof of the pudding is in the eating. In my case, I want to see whether that Zambezi water project thing is going to be completed. Then I can then give them a clean bill of health. I was making a follow-up today. I was in Bulawayo making a follow-up on the issues of the mining opportunities and even some devolution funds, and I discovered that devolution funds, they only constructed, I understand, the vendor stores. And I said to myself, is this the devolution we're talking about? Devolution is bigger than that. Devolution is a local people taking charge of their economical development and decisions and whatsoever. You can't tell us that the national government only sees us as people good for vending, as it were. You see? So yes, there are things which they have done well, but I won't be so excited like you. But I understand why you're excited, my friend. You're in South Africa. So you just talk about things you hear. You need to come down here and talk to people and experience what people are experiencing. You won't be this excited. Yes, you'll agree with them. Like I've already given an example. They've done well on the electricity front. I will give it to them. The roads you are talking about, I am not seeing them. I have not experienced them. In any event, I expect them to build roads because that is their mandate. And they must also not take money straight from Zinara and start building the local roads, because that's city council. That's the competence of city council. You need to pass that money to city council so that city council can hire local people to build those roads, thereby creating employment for local people. Now what they are doing is they are taking people, I don't know from wherever, and then they are coming to build these roads. which are even supposed to be city council roads. You see, that's a challenge, all of that. It shows that you are dealing with people who talk devolution but don't understand the concept.
Okay, Senator, it's a lot to cover in one day. So I think let's bring this to an end. Is there anything else you want to say before we close? Then we can take up the rest next week.
No, I want to say to Zimbabweans, it is in our hands. Our lives are in our hands in as far as elections are concerned. So if you don't vote, you basically take away, if you don't vote when you can vote, you basically take away your right to complain. You basically empower those that have an appetite to abuse you and abuse public place and everything to do that. So it's your opportunity right now, not only to register and vote, but to encourage others to register to vote. Who you vote for, it's really up to you, because it depends on who has demonstrated the capacity and the ability to pull you out of this desperate situation that you find yourself in. So you have that capacity. I know, I for one have committed myself that I will personally influence 50 people. I'm not looking for people who normally vote. I've personally said I'm looking for 50 people who have never voted, who have found a reason not to vote, or who were not eligible to vote in 2018. I have 50 people that I want to convince to vote when it comes to 2023. So take up that challenge of 50 brand new voters, and let's fill these ZEC offices with these 50 brand new people registering, getting ready to vote when it comes 2023. And then after that, we can then argue about how good or how bad was our vote and whatsoever. But if we are not voting, we basically forfeit the right to complain.
Thank you very much, Senator. And I'm sorry for taking so long. I know I said we're going to take 10 minutes, but thank you very much. It's always interesting talking to you.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. Goodbye to everyone.
This is a special message to all Zimbabwean youths. You are in the majority. Voting is the only way that you can make yourself successful, properly heard. Otherwise, the suffering continues if you don't register to vote. So we need to fix the hospitals, the roads, the jobs, the schools, the drinking water that comes out dirty every day, the drugs, the pandemic that is driving our youth mental, the repression, the violence, the abductions, the captured state, institutions that are used to silence us. Now this is a message to all the youths out there. Listen up. Tinashe, Nyasha, Fadzai, Nelson, Tafara, Petsai, Udakwashe, Mamoyo, Saigwa, Mfuiwa, Samaita, Mandovu, Mandebele, Wumba. We have to go out there and register to